Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Big reaction over the last couple of days. Some major changes happening to VALORANT. Massive tournaments underway soon, but TenZ giving his thoughts on the new ping changes and also the neon nerfs that are coming very shortly into the game. Most pros are actually very satisfied with these changes. What's going on with Riot Games lately? Making changes to the game that actually increase the skill gap. Lots to talk about as well today. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Some phenomenal pictures, of course, going around from the, Sentinels boys and other teams' time out there in Korea so far, using the T1 facility for a couple of days to help them get ready. Here's Bang, of course, meeting Faker as well. So thought this is all rather cool, especially after Faker's recent victory at the League of Legends World Championship, of course. And yeah, this is what Second said. I forgot my key to T1 and was sitting at the door waiting, and then Faker just shows up and lets me in. So yeah, definitely storylines there for the ages. And here are the NRG boys. So this is one of the most exciting off-season tournaments coming up very shortly indeed. In just a couple of days, the Soup Valorant League gets underway. We saw what happened at the Sen City Classic and other tournaments so far this off-season. This is going to be a big one, and it's going to be particularly telling, I would say, in terms of the way this season is going to go. Of course, with Marder and Ethan and FNS and Som and all of the boys. This is Bonka, of course, as well, with Verno rounding out the NRG roster. But yeah, they're out there in Korea, ready to go for the tournament. This is what it looks like if you guys are unfamiliar. So, December the 10th, that's the time that obviously the tournament kicks off. Sentinels versus Gen.G is a massive first round game. The big favourites for the tournament really being Sen, Gen, and then like NRG and DRX really, right? These are the other teams in attendance. Of course, we do have the possibility, maybe an outside possibility, but a possibility of NRG playing Bilibili Gaming at some point in this tournament. That would be fun. Hopefully it happens. I really hope that it happens. And it's not impossible by any means. So, yeah, this is the way that it goes. This is the upper side, made in Thailand, Talent Esports as well. But a big tournament happening in a couple of days that will tell us quite a lot, I would say, especially how like Sentinels and NRG, I would say, are going to fare against the likes of Gen.G and DRX from, NA versus Pacific, some of the best in those regions. And speaking of the Pacific, Masters Bangkok. So, of course, that's the February 20th to March the 2nd. First event of next season. These are the ticket sale dates. In a couple of days' time on December the 12th in the US, basically these are when the tickets go live. I think there are going to be some MasterCards pre-sales as well here. So you guys can get tickets a little bit earlier if you're looking to attend. But yeah, just cool to go to a new city, different part of the world too with Valorant. I was in Bangkok a few weeks ago, and yeah, it's a crazy place for sure. I'm sure this event's going to be absolutely mega. Now, there's been another tournament happening over the last couple of days because, of course, Cloud9, they've been in lots of drama, dropping Rossi, bringing in Mitch again to the team. And of course, in the sense that, why was Rossi dropped? Rossi came out and said, yeah, there's some truth in what's going on. There are some lies in what's been going on behind the scenes. And maybe we'll never really fully know the extent of this whole thing. Of course, Rossi's going to stream. He's going to attempt to get back on a new team. I think he's going to be successful in doing so. Where, though, is a question. Is he going to go somewhere as the IGL? Again, he's been released from a roster. Does that kind of imply that he's a bit of a problematic teammate? Obviously, that's what Cloud9 believed. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got rid of him at all. However, their results have been okay. This was a pretty funny tweet, though, from C9. Rossi sent his regards. So they're playing this Spotlight tournament. It's kind of like a mix-up, really, between Cloud9 main roster and Shopify Rebellion, obviously Game Changers roster. And this was certainly a moment of all time when Moose tries to come and get the defuse and has technical difficulties, as you guys can tell right here, and he can't defuse, and therefore the game goes to overtime. So this is just one of these, people were saying, oh, it's karma for Cloud9 and Moose, because seemingly Moose was the guy that wanted him gone. I don't know. We're trying to read between the lines on which players really wanted Rossi gone and which players were like, oh, well, I guess if we want to kick Rossi, I'm okay with it type thing. Obviously, there was talk because Moose, isn't maybe the best player on the roster. So people were then saying, oh, maybe his opinion should carry less weight. Whatever. You guys know how it goes. It's Valorant, it's esports, it's drama at the end of the day. However, fair play to them. They did make it through the group stages in the end. They won the matches that they were required to, and they've now made it to the playoffs. So, yeah, as we see here, G2 goes in, FlyQuest Red, Exelavia Ton, MRBR GC as well. and this Cloud9 SR team did enough to make it through to the playoffs, where they successfully 2-0'd MIBR GC, and now they play G2 Gozen today in the grand finals. So, you know, it's an interesting matchup so far. MIBR GC, they took them down 2-0. Oxy, Moose, Alexis, Vic, and Sarah Cat. That's your roster of 5, and yeah, good result. Oxy, of course, was frying, really not too many massive surprises there. But yeah, the G2 Gozen team on the other side was Leaf, Trent, Mimi, Amy, so kind of a similar thing going on. But Jorgamo is going to be stepping in here for the grand finals because of this reason. So Jonah P was playing there instead, but he was informed, well, this morning that his brothers, or I guess yesterday morning technically, but basically he says that, well, he's got a family situation on his hands. So wishing the best, of course, for his father. Jonah P's going to be taking some time to, yeah, go and deal with that situation. So wishing everything the best over there. Of course, really sad to see. And Jonah P instead will therefore be replaced by none other than Jorgamo into the starting team. So, yeah, exciting stuff. I think Jorgamo getting back in business just to see how he gets on. Of course, he's on that G2 roster now after what we saw last season. We've not seen that much of him in action yet on that team as it stands. So, yeah, we are going to, though, very shortly. And, yeah, so he's going to be subbing in for the roster as of today. We also saw this confirmation yesterday that Natank is officially going to be on Leviathan for the new season. So I think this was rumoured a while ago in terms of the players they were looking for or some of the options they were considering. But, yeah, now they've pulled the trigger, of course. Now that Aspas has always been confirmed over to MIBR, some of the drama that's been associated with that most certainly behind the scenes, we now get Lev officially confirming where their things are going. However, let's talk about some of the drama with the changes to the game over the last day or so. We saw this update recently from, well, Riot, effectively increasing the level of restrictions on voice comms and stuff like this anyway. Just, they're working quite a lot in that domain. And, well, it's like GMD got banned here for these voice logs. I thought it was kind of funny, but also kind of concerning, maybe depending on your perspective. Changes, though, they did make, seemingly on the positive, are the following. So, pings and smokes and neon. Those are the big discussion points. So it's been a known thing where you can ping through a smoke, and if you put the smoke down, the ping will still appear through the smoke. Now, this has been a feature in the game, of course, but it has been a controversial feature, especially in professional play, because it's been a feature in the game now for a long time, right? Spamming through a smoke using a ping, and it's not the most skillful thing I would say in the world. And a lot of pro players and coaches have kind of wanted this to be gone. And Riot Games, you know, they've made changes over the last couple of years, even to smokes, right? When they, you know, those little, let's say, particles appear on the smoke when it's about to fade. And lots of pros said, you know, that decreases the skill gap and makes it obvious people to know when the smoke's going to go. And okay, I kind of get that. But this change does increase the skill gap because it makes this less effective, because pings placed on the minimap will not show up in the world, and then smokes will block those pings from passing through. So, you know, it seems to be a change that just straight up increases the skill gap in the game, which I think is probably a good thing. Now, I know that people are like, oh, why would you change this? No one asked for it to be changed. Which, you know, is kind of true, but some pro players actually did. So, you know, I like this move. I'm not complaining about it at all. This, however, is a big change to Neon. And this, to be honest, is the change, I'm pretty sure, basically to the T as to what TenZ said they should do. Talking about how just restricting Neon to one slide per round, which is probably fair. Full accuracy buff during slide is getting a nerf. Will be similar accuracy to when you crouch. This is the main thing about the character, right? It's the sliding accuracy, it's the consistency of the sliding, how many times you can do it, that made Neon too strong. She's still going to be strong, but this is going to affect her, and I think it's going to be for the betterment of the game. The overdrive is now going to be 8 points as well. So the question has therefore been, in many respects, how is this going to affect Neon? Is she just dead now? Like, is this it? Is it over? You know, does she need another stun or whatever? I don't know. But because she's still going to be as strong when she can do what she wants to do, nearly, but not quite as strong. So, you know, with Yoru and with Phoenix becoming interesting, Neon could be cooked here. And I think that is the question as to whether this is going to dramatically destroy Neon or whether this is like a fair and reasonable balancing change. So tweet your thoughts on that in the comments section below. These were TenZ's perspectives on it, raising the skill ceiling, increasing the clutch potential, as well as nerfing the silent demon, right? Because the point being, if you're trying to defuse a bomb, you put a smoke down, and they just spam you through the smoke because of the ping. It's like, well, you know, great, right? Like, I've lost again for not necessarily my own fault. But very much interested your thoughts on all this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.